Good morning, folks. It's Saturday, and that means it's time for me to talk about an episode of an animated superhero cartoon. Today, I'm here to talk about the Season 2 Legion of Superheroes episode, Unnatural Alliances. And I will be spoiling all up and down the court, so if you have not seen this episode, or if you have but it's been a while and you want to refresh your memory, I will be ruining key plot elements, so consider yourself forewarned. The episode begins with a group of cyborgs trying to kill a little boy named Abel. The Legion come to the rescue of the kid. They realize that the cyborgs and their technology come from the 41st century, where the future Superman and Imperiex come from. We think that Imperiex sent the cyborgs to kill the kid, which makes sense when Imperiex messages the Legion to immediately turn over the kid. The cyborgs come for the kid, then Imperiex comes for the kid, as we find out that the cyborgs are not working for Imperiex. We find out the kid is the inventor of the technology that will result in Imperiex being created 1,000 years in the future. Superman from the future has to decide if he will protect the kid and find another way to destroy Imperiex, or if he will allow the kid to be destroyed, or even worse, destroy the kid himself, and ensure that Imperiex will not be around in the future. Superman from the future makes his decision, the kid is saved, cue credits. So this episode actually managed to surprise me a couple of times. At first, you're thinking that the kid is a sort of John Connor from the Terminator films. He is important in the war against Imperiex, so Imperiex sends minions to kill him, and thus ensure an earlier and more sure victory for himself. And while it is sorta a Terminator story, instead of the good guys having to protect the savior of the future, it's the bad guy who has to protect the boy who will destroy the future. This is a great premise for a story, but unfortunately, it came to us in the form of an animated episode where the premise cannot be explored at all. For one, I feel like if this was a comic book story, the moral dilemma that Superman from the future has to face would actually be explored. Not just because in comics a single story like this would take place over 5 issues, but rather, in comics, I feel like we are air quotes allowed to see more morally ambiguous actions from our protagonists. I'm not saying that I wish more children's cartoons would explore characters who are willing to kill children to save the future. One thing that I like about watching these superhero cartoons is that I don't have to worry about seeing Black Adam rip someone in half and see guts flying across the screen. Sometimes I get sick of the grim and gritty that we get in comic books. But on the other hand, when we see that Superman from the future has to make a choice, I don't for one single second feel invested because I already know that he's going to save the kid. I'm not complaining that he saved the kid, I'm complaining that this episode tries to make us think that it's even a hard choice for him to make. There was something else I thought was weird about this episode. When we find out the cyborgs are not working for Imperiex, we eventually find out that they were sent by the robot mind thing that raised Superman from the future. We are told that they were sent in case Superman failed in his mission. Except that, how? How is this even possible? Not only did we see the robot thing that raised Superman get destroyed in the Season 2 premiere, but that entire future was destroyed, was it not? How are cyborgs even able to come from the future to follow Superman in the first place if that entire future was destroyed? This is typical of this series, where the rules of time travel don't actually make any sense at all and are in fact wildly ignored from episode to episode. Those were really my only complaints about this episode, I think. Hardly as bad as some of the episodes in the past, where I feel like my review is twice as long just because I have that much to complain about. There is still my complaint that this season feels completely mismatched with the season premiere. I've complained about this in just about every single review for this season, so I won't talk about it too much more here. It's just the usual stuff about how the Season 2 premiere made Imperiex sound like the end of the universe if he came to the 31st century, and now he's been in the 31st century for 7 episodes and nothing has happened. I imagine even when this series is coming to a close, I'll still be complaining about that. So that's all I have for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed my review of it. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you did like this video, a week from today I will be talking about an episode of Batman the Animated Series, and the following weekend I will be back talking about another episode of the Legion of Superheroes. And don't forget to come check out my channel throughout the week as I talk about other stuff. Until then, catch you guys later. Have a great day.